The planet Zephora gleamed under the light of its twin suns. Its towering crystal cities reflected golden and violet hues, and flying ships glided silently above the streets like shimmering birds. Zephora was a place of beauty and power, home to civilizations that spanned the galaxy, yet at its heart lay a mystery that captured attention everywhere, a princess who had rejected every suitor. Princess Liara was not like any other royal. Her hair shimmered silver under the sunlight, and her eyes glowed faintly with the intelligence and strength of her people. She had been trained in combat, diplomacy, and science from a young age. Liara's skills were unmatched, and her beauty was the subject of legends. Yet despite countless suitors from across the galaxy, warriors, nobles, scholars, she had said no to everyone. Many whispered that no one could ever earn her heart. The palace where Liara lived was a marvel. Crystal towers stretched toward the sky, linked by bridges that glowed softly with energy. Inside, gardens floated in the air, filled with rare plants from every known planet. Servants and guards moved silently, attending to every detail, yet the princess remained distant. She walked the halls with grace, yet there was a sadness in her eyes, a longing she could not name. Far across the stars, on a planet called Earth, a human pilot named Alex Carter prepared for a journey that would change his life. He was part of a diplomatic mission sent to Zephora, tasked with negotiating trade agreements and alliances. Alex was tall, with dark hair and steady brown eyes. He was confident but not arrogant. Unlike many humans, he did not dream of fame or wealth. His focus was on duty, curiosity, and understanding the universe. Alex had trained for years to face unknown dangers. Yet nothing had prepared him for Zephora, not the alien language, not the shimmering cities, nor the presence of the legendary princess herself. As his ship descended through the violet clouds of Zephora, he could see the crystal spires of the capital city sparkling below. The view was breathtaking, but Alex kept his thoughts focused on the mission. Upon landing, Alex was escorted to the palace. Guards with sleek armor and energy shields bowed as he passed. Inside, the hallways were lined with statues of ancient leaders and warriors, each crafted from the translucent crystals that were Zephora's signature. The air hummed with energy, a sign of the planet's advanced technology. Finally, he reached the throne room. Princess Liara sat upon a raised platform, her silver hair flowing around her shoulders. She wore a gown of shimmering fabric that reflected the light like liquid crystal. Her expression was calm, yet her eyes assessed Alex with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. "Welcome, human," she said, her voice clear and strong. "I hear you are here for diplomacy. Are you prepared for what Zephora expects?" Alex bowed slightly, maintaining eye contact. "Your Highness, I am here to build understanding and cooperation. I am ready to learn and to work with your people." Liara's lips curved into the faintest smile. Most suitors would have been awed, flustered, or intimidated. Not Alex. He spoke with honesty, with respect, and with a calm that seemed rare in the presence of her power. The first day was filled with formalities. Alex attended meetings with the Council of Ministers, Engineers, and Scientists. He asked questions, listened carefully, and even suggested ideas that impressed his alien hosts. Liara observed quietly, noting how he adapted quickly to Zephora's customs without losing his own sense of identity. As the sun set, painting the sky with streaks of orange and violet, Liara excused herself. She wanted a moment of solitude, a break from the constant expectation that she entertained suitors. She walked through the palace gardens where floating plants hovered above pools of glowing water. The air smelled faintly of alien blossoms, a scent she had grown to love. Alex, unaware that Liara had left, decided to explore the palace grounds. He enjoyed walking, observing, and learning firsthand. As he strolled near a crystal bridge, a sudden alarm rang throughout the palace. Creatures from the surrounding forests, drawn by energy disturbances, were approaching the city. Their bodies shimmered with strange patterns and their eyes glowed with intelligence. Guards rushed past, activating energy barriers, but one creature broke through near the garden where Liara walked. Liara's instincts kicked in. She drew her weapon, a slender blade that hummed with energy. With precise, practiced movements, she struck at the creature, forcing it back. Alex saw the commotion and, without hesitation, ran toward Liara. He had no weapon, but he understood danger and how to think quickly. Using a small energy field from his suit, he created a barrier between the creature and Liara, giving her the chance to strike safely. Liara glanced at him, surprised. Humans were not common on Zephora, and few had the courage to step into danger for anyone, even a princess. Alex's calm, decisive action spoke volumes. He was not reckless, but he was willing to act when others might hesitate. Together, they pushed back the creature until it fled into the forest. The other creatures, seeing their companion retreat, followed. The palace alarms ceased, and the city guards secured the area. Liara lowered her blade, breathing steadily. "Human," she said, her voice tinged with curiosity. "You could have been hurt." Alex shrugged, a small, easy smile on his face. "So could you, princess. But it seems we both know how to handle danger." Liara studied him for a long moment. There was something different about him. Unlike other suitors, he did not bow in awe or try to impress her with words. He had acted from instinct and intelligence without seeking approval. Liara felt a spark of respect, and something she had not felt in a long time, genuine interest. The night fell, and the palace returned to its quiet elegance. Liara walked back to her chambers, her mind busy with thoughts of the human who had faced danger alongside her. She replayed his calm actions, the way he thought quickly, and the strange courage in his eyes. Could it be possible that someone like him might understand her, in a way no other alien ever had? Meanwhile, Alex sat in the guest quarters, looking out at the crystal city glowing under the twin moons. He thought about the princess, her strength, her intelligence, her grace. She was unlike anyone he had ever met. Yet more than her status or beauty, it was her independence and the quiet sadness in her eyes that caught his attention. He realized that this mission might be more than diplomacy. He might find something far greater than he had expected. As sleep finally claimed him, Alex wondered what the coming days would bring. One thing was clear. Zephora was not just a planet of beauty and technology. It was a place of challenges, mysteries, and perhaps the beginning of an unexpected bond that could change the galaxy. And somewhere in the palace, Princess Liara stared out at the city lights, thinking of the human who had acted without fear, who had moved through danger as if instinct and intelligence were enough. She had rejected countless suitors, each trying to impress her with wealth, power, or status. But Alex was different. She did not know what the future held, but she knew one thing. This human had awakened a curiosity in her heart she had not felt in centuries. And so, under the shimmering skies of Zephora, a story that would cross worlds and challenge traditions quietly began. One of courage, respect, and the slow, unexpected pull of two very different beings toward each other. The morning sun of Zephora rose slowly, painting the crystal city in shades of gold and violet. Princess Liara stood on her balcony, watching the floating gardens sway gently in the soft breeze. Her thoughts kept returning to the human, Captain Alex Carter. There was a quiet strength about him, a calmness in dangerous moments, and a cleverness that set him apart from any alien suitor she had ever encountered. She did not know why, but she felt drawn to him. Alex, meanwhile, had been summoned to the palace for a meeting with the royal council. They had decided that, as part of the diplomatic mission, he would accompany Liara on a journey to explore ancient alien ruins near the outskirts of the city. These ruins were mysterious and largely untouched for thousands of years, rumored to hold technology and knowledge lost to time. Liara appeared at the council chamber, her presence commanding attention. She wore a simple tunic unlike the elaborate gowns she often wore, allowing her to move freely. She walked past the council members without a word, her eyes on Alex, who had already stood to greet her. "Are you ready for this, human?" she asked, a slight smile on her lips. Alex nodded. "I am. I have prepared as best I can. I just hope I can keep up." Liara's eyes sparkled with amusement. Keeping up is one thing. Surviving what lies ahead is another. The journey began with a fleet of sleek hovercrafts that glided above the forests surrounding the crystal city. The forests of Zephora were unlike any place Alex had seen. Trees with crystalline leaves reflected the sunlight, casting rainbows on the ground. Strange animals, some small and delicate, others large and imposing, roamed freely. The air was rich with scents of alien flowers and minerals, giving a heady sense of life and mystery. As they approached the ruins, Alex noticed the air seemed to hum with energy. Massive stone structures covered in glowing runes rose from the ground. Vines of silver leaves clung to the walls, and small pools of luminescent water reflected the ruins like mirrors. The place felt alive, almost as if it was waiting for visitors. Liara led the way. She moved with precision, stepping over uneven stones and guiding Alex through narrow passages. Despite the ruins' age, she had studied their layouts and defensive mechanisms carefully. Alex followed, marveling at her skill and confidence. Suddenly, a section of the floor shifted beneath them. A trap, ancient but still functional, activated. A large stone slab began to descend from above, threatening to crush them. Without hesitation, Alex leapt forward, grabbing Liara's arm and pulling her back. She barely had time to activate her energy blade, deflecting the slab's impact. "You were fast," Liara said, glancing at him with a mixture of surprise and respect. "You're not so bad yourself," Alex replied, his voice steady despite the close call. They continued deeper into the ruins, encountering more traps and puzzles. One chamber was filled with floating platforms, each suspended over a glowing pit. The platforms moved in patterns that seemed impossible to predict. Liara studied the movements carefully, her mind calculating every step. Alex observed for a moment, then noticed that the patterns formed a subtle rhythm. Using his intuition, he began to move with the platforms, and to Liara's surprise, he kept pace perfectly. "You think like a human," Liara remarked. "Most aliens would fail at this immediately," Alex smiled. "I think differently. I look for patterns, not just rules." By midday, they reached a large central chamber. In the middle stood a pedestal with a glowing artifact, an orb that pulsed with energy. As Liara approached it, a barrier suddenly appeared around them. The walls of the chamber shifted, and a low rumbling sound filled the air. The ruins were protecting the artifact. Liara activated her energy blade, ready to fight, but Alex noticed something. The runes on the walls changed colors in a sequence. Using his logical mind, he deduced that the barrier responded to specific patterns of movement. He signaled to Liara, and together they stepped in the correct sequence. The barrier shimmered and vanished. Liara's eyes widened. "Impressive. You solved it without even knowing the history of this place." Alex shrugged. "Sometimes you just have to think differently." For the first time, Liara felt something she had not felt with any other being, a sense of equality. This human was not afraid of her strength or her status. He was clever, brave, and unafraid of challenges. She found herself smiling more than usual, though she did not understand why. As they rested beside a small pool of glowing water, Alex shared stories of Earth, its oceans, mountains, and simple joys. Liara listened intently, fascinated by a world so different from her own. She had met many scholars and explorers, but none had described their home with such genuine wonder and respect. "You humans face many dangers," Liara said softly, "and yet you continue to explore, to learn. There is courage in that." Alex met her gaze. "Courage isn't about fearlessness. It's about choosing to act despite fear." Liara nodded slowly. There was wisdom in his words, a simplicity that carried weight. She found herself thinking about him not just as a guest or a human, but as someone she could trust. Their quiet moment was interrupted by a sudden tremor. The ruins groaned, and dust fell from the ceiling. A massive creature, part rock and part living crystal, emerged from a hidden chamber. Its eyes glowed, and its voice resonated like rolling thunder. Liara stepped forward, her blade ready, but Alex did not hesitate. Using his suit's energy shield, he created a barrier that redirected the creature's charge. Liara attacked from the side, striking precise blows that weakened the beast. Together they moved in harmony, anticipating each other's actions. After a tense struggle, the creature collapsed, its energy dissipating into the chamber. Liara wiped her blade clean and looked at Alex. You fight well. Not just with strength, but with thought. Most aliens rely only on power." Alex gave a small grin. "I've learned that brains and courage can work together." The rest of the exploration continued without major incident. They cataloged artifacts, studied glowing inscriptions, and mapped the ruins' interior. Throughout it all, Liara observed Alex closely. His curiosity, his respect for her abilities, and his quick thinking in dangerous situations made her see him in a way she had never seen any suitor before. As the sun set over the ruins, painting the crystal towers in the distance with orange and violet light, Liara and Alex set up a small camp. They shared a simple meal, and for the first time the princess spoke freely about her feelings. "I have been taught to reject all suitors," she said quietly, "to guard my heart and my people's expectations. But you're different. I do not understand why, but I feel curious about you. About us." Alex looked at her, surprise and warmth in his eyes. Curiosity is the first step toward understanding. We don't have to know everything now, we just see where this goes. Liara nodded, feeling a strange but welcome sense of relief. For centuries, she had carried the weight of expectations, rules, and protocols. With Alex, she felt she could simply be herself, strong, capable, and curious without judgment or pressure. As the night deepened, they sat by the glowing pool, watching the twin moons rise over the ruins. The stars of Zephora shone brightly, and for the first time in a long while, Liara felt a spark of hope. Perhaps her heart could find a new path, not one dictated by duty but by connection, trust, and courage. Alex, too, felt a sense of wonder. He had come to Zephora for diplomacy, but he found something more. A chance to understand a world beyond his own, and perhaps to connect with someone extraordinary. And so, under the alien sky, a bond began to form. It was subtle at first, built on trust, respect, and shared danger. Yet it carried the quiet promise of something greater, a connection that neither the expectations of society nor the vastness of the galaxy could ignore. As they settled for the night, Liara could not help but think, maybe, just maybe, this human could be the one to change everything. The return to the crystal city of Zephora was met with curiosity and whispers. News of a human exploring the ancient ruins alongside Princess Liara spread quickly among the nobles and council members. Many were shocked that a human had navigated the ruins so successfully and survived the dangers with the princess. Rumors of the princess's interest in the human began to circulate, sparking unease and envy among the alien nobles. Liara felt the tension immediately. The council had summoned her to discuss the mission's findings, but she knew the real purpose was to observe her reactions and gauge the human's influence. As she walked into the chamber, nobles exchanged guarded glances and some sneered at Alex, who followed closely behind. One noble, tall and imposing with golden armor, stepped forward. "Princess Liara," he said, his voice smooth but filled with challenge, "we have watched the human navigate the ruins. Such skill is unusual for your kind. Tell us, will you accept him as a companion or suitor?" Liara's eyes narrowed slightly. This mission was not about suitors. It was about exploration and understanding, the noble smirked. Yet many would see it differently. "Perhaps he has proven himself worthy." Alex stepped forward calmly. "Your Highness and council members, my purpose here is not to claim titles or impress anyone. I am here to assist in understanding Zephora, its history, and its people." Liara watched him closely. His humility, combined with his intelligence and courage, made her heart beat a little faster. Unlike other suitors, he did not seek her approval. Instead, he focused on the mission and on solving problems. The council seemed unimpressed at first, but they decided to test him further. They proposed a series of trials, traditional tests of strength, intelligence, and honor that every suitor had to pass to be considered for marriage or partnership with the princess. The trials were designed to push candidates to their limits, and failure often meant humiliation. Liara observed silently. She knew Alex could face challenges, but she also knew the trials would reveal more about his character than any ceremony or gift could. The first trial was one of strength. Candidates were to navigate an obstacle course filled with gravity shifts, energy barriers, and ancient defensive constructs. The other suitors, alien warriors of various species, moved with confidence, but struggled with the unpredictable nature of the obstacles. Alex approached the course with calm determination. He studied the pattern of moving barriers, calculated timing, and used his agility to move efficiently. Where raw strength failed others, his cleverness and quick thinking carried him through. He finished the course faster than most, earning glances of surprise from the alien spectators. Liara's gaze followed him every step. She had seen him in danger before, but now she saw him deliberately face challenges, analyzing, adapting, and acting without hesitation. There was no arrogance, no need to show off, only skill and intelligence. The second trial tested intelligence. Candidates were presented with complex alien puzzles, some involving ancient technology, others requiring negotiation and diplomacy. Many suitors faltered, unable to understand the logic of the alien mechanisms. Alex, however, approached each puzzle methodically. He observed patterns, tested possibilities, and adapted when necessary. In one challenge, he activated an ancient console by recognizing a sequence based not on brute force, but on timing and logic. The judges watched in astonishment. Liara felt her respect for him grow. Intelligence alone had not won her admiration before, but combined with courage, humility, and creativity, it was magnetic. The third trial was one of honor and judgment. Candidates had to mediate a simulated conflict between alien factions, demonstrating fairness, leadership, and diplomacy. Alex listened carefully to each side, asked thoughtful questions, and proposed solutions that were fair yet innovative. The council nodded, impressed. He had not only succeeded but had done so in a way that demonstrated empathy and understanding, qualities the aliens valued but rarely saw in outsiders. However, not everyone was pleased. One rival suitor, a noble named Kale, was openly hostile. Kale had been confident he would impress the princess and win favor. Now he saw a human outperforming him in every trial. Frustrated, he began plotting ways to sabotage Alex during the final trial. The final trial combined elements of strength, intelligence, and courage. Candidates were taken to a forest outside the city, where they had to retrieve an artifact guarded by a complex maze and living creatures. The maze itself was a test, designed to push candidates to think, act quickly, and rely on instinct as much as skill. Alex and Liara entered the forest together. Liara could have done this trial alone, but she chose to accompany him, intrigued by how he approached challenges. They moved carefully, avoiding traps and solving environmental puzzles. Alex's quick thinking and adaptability impressed Liara at every turn. Kale, watching from a distance, saw an opportunity to strike. He triggered a trap meant to block Alex and force him into danger. Liara immediately noticed and moved to intervene, subtly redirecting the trap without revealing herself to Alex. When Alex finally approached the trap, he recognized the hazard and adapted his path, thinking quickly to avoid danger. Liara observed in silence, impressed by his ability to handle unexpected threats without panicking. He remained focused, analyzing and reacting with intelligence and courage. This was unlike any suitor she had ever seen, alien or human. At the maze's center, the artifact awaited, glowing softly in the dim light of the forest. The final challenge required strength to lift it, intelligence to deactivate its protective energy, and courage to endure the unstable energy pulses it emitted. Alex carefully examined the artifact. He noted the rhythm of the energy pulses and the structure of the containment field. Using his skills and tools, he deactivated the protective energy without triggering any harm. Then, using a combination of leverage and strength, he lifted the artifact and brought it to the designated platform. Liara watched silently, admiration growing with every step. He had succeeded not because of brute force, not because of status or training, but because he had relied on observation, logic, and courage. He had combined all his human qualities in a way that surpassed even the best-trained alien warriors. When the trials concluded, the council gathered to announce the results. Alex had passed each challenge with distinction, earning the approval of the judges and even the grudging respect of rival suitors. Kale and others could no longer dismiss him. Liara stepped forward, her expression calm but firm. The human has shown skill, intelligence, and courage in every trial. He has earned not only the council's respect but also mine. A murmur spread through the chamber. The council members exchanged glances, some hesitant, some astonished. It was rare for a human to achieve such recognition, and even rarer for a princess to openly acknowledge it. Alex bowed slightly, his demeanor humble. "I did not seek recognition, Your Highness. I only acted according to what I thought was right and necessary." Liara met his gaze, and in that moment a silent understanding passed between them. It was not about power, status, or tradition. It was about respect, courage, and the quiet bond that had formed during their journey. Kale and the other nobles could say what they wished, but Liara knew her choice. She admired the human not only for his abilities but for his character, qualities no suitor had ever truly possessed. As they left the chamber, Liara walked beside Alex, her steps light but purposeful. "You have done more than survive the trials," she said softly. "You have shown what it means to be worthy of trust and perhaps more." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he had not expected. "Then I am glad I could meet your expectations, Princess. Though truthfully, I never knew what to expect." Liara laughed lightly, a sound that was both rare and beautiful. "That is part of what makes you different. You do not follow the rules blindly. You act with thought, courage, and honesty, That is something I respect greatly. For the first time in centuries, Liara felt a sense of excitement and anticipation about the future. The trials had been more than tests of skill. They had revealed character, loyalty, and heart. And in Alex, she had found something extraordinary. As they walked through the Crystal City, the sun setting behind the towers, Liara allowed herself a small but significant thought. Perhaps she could let someone into her heart. Someone worthy of trust, courage, and companionship. Alex, unaware of the full depth of her thoughts, felt only the quiet pride of accomplishment and the growing curiosity about the princess. There was a connection between them now, subtle yet undeniable, forged through challenges, danger, and shared understanding. The stars of Zephora began to twinkle as night fell. Somewhere in the distance, the twin moons rose, casting gentle light over the city. Liara and Alex walked side by side, their bond growing stronger, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy might place before them. For the first time, the alien princess allowed herself to imagine a future not dictated by duty or expectation, but by choice, and that choice, slowly, quietly, was leaning toward the human who had proven himself not only brave and clever, but capable of understanding her in ways no other being ever had. The city of Zephora glittered under the twin moons as Princess Liara walked through the palace corridors. A sense of anticipation filled the air. The trials had ended and the council's decision was clear. Yet whispers of surprise and disapproval had already begun to spread among the alien nobles. Many could not accept that a human had earned both the council's respect and Liara's admiration. Liara paused at a balcony overlooking the city, her silver hair glinting in the moonlight. She thought of Alex, who had proven himself time and again, not by seeking glory but by acting with courage, intelligence, and honesty. She had never felt such a combination of respect and connection with anyone before. Her heart, long guarded by duty and tradition, now felt a quiet pull toward him. Meanwhile, Alex prepared for a ceremonial meeting with the council. He had not expected recognition beyond the trials, yet the council wished to honor his achievements formally. As he entered the grand chamber, he saw Liara waiting, her expression calm but with a spark of emotion in her eyes. The chamber was filled with nobles and council members. The air was tense as many struggled to hide their astonishment and envy. Kale, the rival noble, stood apart, his face twisted with frustration. He had underestimated the human and now faced the humiliation of defeat. The head of the council, an elder with eyes that seemed to see through time itself, spoke first. Captain Alex Carter, you have faced challenges of strength, intelligence, and courage. You have exceeded the expectations of this council and proven that trust and character are as important as skill. Princess Liara has observed your actions closely. The decision now rests with her. All eyes turned to Liara. The silence was heavy. She stepped forward, her movements graceful and confident. She raised her head, meeting each gaze calmly before looking directly at Alex. You have demonstrated qualities that no suitor has ever shown me, she said, her voice steady but warm. Courage, intelligence, humility, and respect. You have faced danger without fear and acted with honor. You have earned my admiration and my trust. A murmur spread through the chamber. Some nobles whispered in disbelief. Others tried to mask their shock. Kale's expression darkened, but he remained silent. Liara continued, her eyes fixed on Alex. Tradition dictates that I choose from among my people. But tradition does not dictate my heart. I choose to follow what I feel is right. I choose him. Alex felt a surge of emotion, a mix of honor, relief, and admiration. He bowed slightly. Your Highness, I am humbled. I did not come seeking favor, but I am grateful for your trust and your choice. Liara stepped closer, her gaze softening. Trust is earned, and you have earned it. Together we can face whatever challenges the galaxy presents. The council members exchanged glances. Some nodded slowly, recognizing the wisdom in her choice. Others remained unconvinced, but none could argue against the clear display of character and courage that Alex had shown. Outside the palace, the city had begun to celebrate. Holographic lights shimmered in the sky, and citizens gathered in the streets to witness the announcement. Word of the princess's decision spread quickly, and many cheered, inspired by the idea that courage and integrity could transcend tradition and expectations. But the celebration was interrupted by a sudden disturbance. A massive predator, drawn by the energy fluctuations of the trials and the artifact Alex had handled, attacked the city outskirts. Its body glowed with pulsating energy, and its roar echoed across the crystal towers. Without hesitation, Alex and Liara moved to confront the threat. Guards rushed to block the creature, but it was fast, intelligent, and aggressive. Liara activated her energy blade, moving with precision and strength while Alex coordinated a protective barrier to shield the citizens. They worked together seamlessly, anticipating each other's movements. Alex's quick thinking allowed him to redirect the creature's attacks, while Liara's skill and strength delivered precise strikes. The predator's energy pulses made the battle dangerous, yet they adapted, using the environment to their advantage. As the fight reached its peak, the creature lunged toward a group of civilians. Alex reacted instinctively, placing himself between the predator and the people, activating an energy shield that absorbed the impact. Liara used the moment to deliver a final strike, neutralizing the creature. Breathing heavily, they looked at each other, and for a moment, words were unnecessary. They had faced danger together, relied on one another, and emerged victorious. The citizens cheered, recognizing not only their bravery but the bond that had formed between the human and the princess. In the aftermath, the council approached, visibly moved. "Your actions today," the elder said, "demonstrate that courage, wisdom, and unity can protect not only the palace but the people of Zephora. You have proven that your choice was not only personal, but wise for all." Liara nodded, her hand brushing lightly against Alex's. "We have much to learn from each other," she said softly. "And much to protect," Alex smiled. "I will do my best, Princess. Together we can face anything." The city celebrated long into the night. Citizens of Zephora gathered in the crystal plazas, lighting floating lanterns and projecting images of the victory over the predator. Music and laughter filled the air. Amidst the joy, Liara and Alex stood together, feeling the quiet satisfaction of accomplishment and the thrill of a bond that had grown stronger through trials and danger. That night, in the quiet of the palace, Liara walked with Alex to her private garden. The floating plants glowed softly, and the gentle hum of the energy fields created a calm atmosphere. For centuries she had walked these gardens alone, burdened by duty and expectation. Now she could share this moment with someone she respected and trusted deeply. "You've changed everything," she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of tradition. "Not just for me, but for the people of Zephora. You've shown them that courage, honor, and respect matter more than titles or lineage." Alex looked at her, his expression serious but gentle. "You've changed me too. I came here for a mission, but I found something more. I found a connection, a chance to understand a world beyond my own, and someone extraordinary to share it with." Liara smiled, the first genuine smile of relief and joy in a long time. "Then let us face the future together, not as suitor and princess, but as partners, friends, allies, perhaps more." Alex nodded. "More," he agreed, a quiet warmth spreading in his chest. The twin moons rose higher, casting silver light over the crystal city. Stars shimmered above, and the floating gardens reflected the soft glow. For the first time in centuries, Princess Liara felt free, not just from tradition, but free to follow her heart. And that heart had chosen the human who had shown courage, intelligence, and honor beyond what she had ever imagined. The next days were filled with preparations for a new era. The council accepted Liara's choice, and even rival nobles, though reluctant, began to acknowledge Alex's contributions. The citizens celebrated not only the heroism displayed during the predator attack, but also the example of trust, courage, and partnership that the princess and the human represented. Alex and Liara spent time learning from each other. He shared stories of Earth, its people, and its challenges. She taught him about Zephora, its history, and its wonders. Together they explored the city, the forests, and even returned to the ancient ruins, studying and understanding the secrets left behind by Zephora's ancestors. Through every challenge, every discovery, and every quiet moment, their bond grew stronger. It was a bond built not on power or expectation, but on respect, courage, and understanding. And as they stood together on the palace balcony, watching the twin suns rise over the horizon, Liara felt certain of one thing: the heart chooses its own path, and hers had chosen wisely. A new chapter had begun, for Zephora, for the galaxy, and for two beings from entirely different worlds who had discovered that courage, Trust and connection could overcome any distance, tradition, or expectation. The human and the princess, side by side, gazed at the stars, knowing that whatever challenges awaited, they would face them together. Their story was just beginning, a tale of bravery, respect, and the quiet magic that happens when hearts, no matter how different, find each other across the universe.